Welcome to the show.
Where are we?
The mascara.
Now, we're doing Wonder Woman.
I tried, but it's not up to me.
The first of many Wonder Woman movies, but it's the actual movie. The plot of this movie is that it starts in Themyscira while Wonder Woman was a young girl. And Themyscira is like an island of warrior women, Amazonians. They're literally called Amazons. At least they are in the comics. I forget if they do that in the movie. But once a Wonder Woman is older, a World War I plane crash lands in the ocean surrounding the island, and Wonder Woman saves them, and it turns out to be Steve Trevor.
You're a man.
I mean, do I not look like one?
And Steve reveals that he's a spy.
I am a spy! I'm a spy. I'm a spy.
And that there's a war going on. And Wonder Woman's immediately like, we gotta stop this. Ares must be out there, because Ares is the god of war in Greek mythology.
But the man called it a war without end. Like nothing he's ever seen. Only Ares could do such a thing.
So Wonder Woman sets out to do that with Steve. Steve kind of questions that Ares is real, because, you know, gods aren't real. Spoilers to real life.
Ares would never let...
What? What is that?
But Wonder Woman's convinced that that's what it is. So she keeps searching for Ares, even doing things that most non-superhumans would probably consider suicidal, like going over World War I trenches. That pretty much guarantees they're gonna die. When this movie came out, I remember it was like kind of a breath of fresh air for DC movies in general, just in that I think it was like the last 3 movies that come out were like Green Lantern and then Man of Steel, which I thought was pretty good, but hasn't aged well, and Batman v Superman, which just, it was horrible.
Damn! Save Martha!
And then this came out and it was like, oh, DC can make good movies, you know? We haven't seen anything good since the Dark Knight trilogy ended, and this was the first thing to like really stand out and stand on its own.
We got lucky, we caught a ride, we made some good time. Welcome to jolly old London.
It's hideous.
Unfortunately, this movie hasn't really aged that well either. It's not as good as I remember it.
How can you say that? What is the matter with you?
This is no man's land, Diana. It means no man can cross it.
It had a bit of pacing and tonal issues, for one thing. Just like here and there, many scenes felt like they could have been shortened like just a bit. 10% of every scene could have been taken out. And like with the tone, it just felt like every time it switched to a new sequence, it felt like we stepped into a different movie, like a slightly different movie every time. But this happens enough time and suddenly you are actually watching a different movie.
I can't let you do this.
What I do is not up to you.
And that's really how this movie went. It starts out being a war movie with a superhero in it to like shifting all the way over to being just a full-on superhero movie.
You know that she deserves it. They all do. Do it!
It didn't feel natural the way it shifted that way. It could have felt a little more natural, and that would have been to the film's betterment.
You didn't stand your ground. You didn't fight.
Because there was no chance of changing his mind.
This is Ares, and he's not going to allow a negotiation or a surrender.
I do like that it takes place during World War I. There aren't enough movies that take place during World War I. That's all. Unfortunately, I kind of think the only reason it takes place in World War I and not World War II is just that Captain America did it already.
We're gonna put this on our backs, and when I say go, lift hard.
I did like that they used the setting well, and it wasn't just like there as a background, basically. It really felt like a World War I movie. It's really good acting all around, especially from the guy who plays Steve Trevor. Felt he was the person who stood out the most as being like just a really good actor.
It has to be me. I could save today, you could save the world.
He kind of provides comic relief while also still being like a war hero who's kind of a super spy who brings a lot of drama to the story as well. He was really good, but there's great acting all around.
What's the going rate?
Better be a good pay.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's for a great cause. Freedom. Friendship. Ending the war. Friendship.
Okay, you have no money.
No.
On another note, I really love how Steve just like constantly panicking throughout the movie because Wonder Woman's always just telling him totally insane things like, oh, we have to do this now. I have to go over the trench into no man's land. She's like, no, you don't want to do that. And like she immediately does it after that. No matter what it is, she immediately does it after that. And then he just has to go with the flow, like just constantly. It's like a running gag, and I think it works for the film very well.
You're not wearing any clothes. Let's go buy you some clothes.
What do these women wear into battle?
They don't,
Oh, a few more complaints. The movie's just too long. Well, aside from removing like 10% of every scene, you probably could have taken like a big chunk just right out of the middle and it would have been fine. Also, like, the comedy is sometimes really funny, but, like, most of the time it's just kind of awkward.
What's that?
it's a,
But I personally think this could have been fine as, like, a drama with just some light-hearted moments here and there. I guess I'll go to my final thoughts, which are, this is a good movie. I'd recommend it.